Hi, I'm Madison,
I'm Cassandra.
and today we're going to talk about food justice and the environment. Ecofeminism is an activist and academic movement positing parallels between the destruction of nature and the oppression of women. Three of the main connections discussed in ecofeminist theory are the empirical, which notes that globally environmental problems disproportionately affect women, the conceptual, which notes that women and nature have been connected historically, granting men innate power over both, and the epistemological, which, following the former two connections, argues that women are better suited to discuss environmental problems as they are affected by them more so than men.
In the Grapes of Wrath article, it mainly emphasized on how the quality and the quantity of perishable foods in high socioeconomic areas and low socioeconomic areas. The study just further showed that people who are living in lower socioeconomic areas, how they are less able to access good quality perishable foods as to seen with people who live in high socioeconomic areas. And just the factors that just kind of play in with this is just having less money and less income towards transport to get to these high socioeconomic areas to get better quality food. Thus, the lower socioeconomic class is purchasing lower amounts of quality food.
And on the topic of socioeconomics, Victoria C. Moray conducted dumpster dinners, an ethnographic study of freeganism, in which she was a participant observer of the freegan lifestyle. Freeganism, derived from the words free and vegan, entails limited participation in the conventional economy. Freegan activities may include asking store clerks for food that is about to be thrown out, plate scraping / table diving, foraging for plants, and dumpster diving. Some freegans may make economic or lifestyle changes as well, such as bartering, scamming / shoplifting, squatting, making their own clothing, and donating. Freegans argue that under our current economic system, the value of food is solely monetary. To work around this, they seek to extend the life cycle of food and other resources that they find.
And in this article, The Tragedy of Trade by Christine Skolman, she mainly emphasized on the country of Ecuador and just how the banana industry in that country and just the child labor laws that are not being enforced and just the overworking of child labor to help further down the cost that it takes to produce the bananas and manufacture them and distribute them. If we look at the prices of our bananas in our local grocery store, they're fairly cheap, and the article just mainly touches on why. Child labor is just being a main implication here. These children and adults are being paid very low wages. They're being exposed to very high amounts of pesticides and insecticides. And they're not getting any kind of benefits at all, even though the amount of hours that they are working. And anti-unions have been formed against this industry, but the fine for the companies just to kind of ignore the workers is just so much lower than just the amount that it would cost to provide further benefits for their workers.
And then the article that we found was by Food Safety News. It said that in mid-March 2016, H-E-B recalled over 10,000 cans of Hill Country Fare branded tuna. The company claimed that a co-packer was responsible for the recall and that tuna may have been undercooked because of an equipment malfunction. This departure from the typical sanitation process resulted in contamination by spoilage organisms and pathogens, putting consumers at risk for life-threatening illnesses. Recalls are unfortunately common in the food industry, with various products being unfit for consumption due to botulism or listeria. As most food companies are only concerned with turning a profit, they rush their products out, not accounting for the quality or sanitation of their food.
And our discussion question for you guys today is, where and under what conditions is your food being produced?
And how can you reduce food waste?